osteoarthritis? Well, you are listening to the right ad. You have the ailment, we have the remedy. Call us now on 288-8301 or 346-2612.
Don't forget to tune in right here on the street 919 FM every Wednesday from 10:05 a.m.
Performance, beat all talk.
Ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays from the street 919 FM. Ho, ho, ho.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the street 919 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
For grace, sell out and buy. Sell you, 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 sell you, sell out and buy. Sell you, sell you, sell out and buy. Sell you, sell out and buy. Sell your sin for grace, sell out and buy.
Babylon,
salvation, star of all night, and hope of every nation. Hear and receive thy church's supplication. Lord God Almighty, see wrong thine ark, the hungry billows curling. See how thy foes, their banners are unfurling. Lord, while their darts envenomed they are hurling, thou canst preserve us. Lord, thou canst help when earthly armor faileth. Lord, thou canst save when deadly sin assaileth. Lord, all thy church, nor death, nor hell prevaileth. Grant us thy peace, Lord. Grant us thy help till foes are backward driven. Grant them thy truth, that they may be forgiven. Grant peace on earth, and after we have striven, peace in thy heaven. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, oh, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, oh, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, oh, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, oh, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Power come down from glory. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Power come down from glory. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Power come down from glory. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Power come down from glory. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Power come down from glory. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Power come down from glory. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Power come down from glory. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, oh, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, oh, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, oh, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our shining glory. Zion, oh, Zion, my Lord. Zion Hill is our Zion Hill is a shining glory. 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 Zion Hill, shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. Zion Hill is a shining glory. I say Zion Hill is a shining glory. Oh, Zion Hill is a shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. I say Zion Hill, Zion Hill is a Zion Hill is a I say Zion Hill children, Zion Hill children, oh Zion Hill, Zion Hill, Zion Hill, Zion Hill, Zion Hill, Zion Hill is a shining glory. I say Zion Hill is a shining glory. I say Zion Hill is a shining glory. I say Zion Hill is a shining glory. Zion Hill is a shining glory. Zion Hill is a shining glory. Oh, shining glory. Oh, shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. Zion Hill, shining glory. Where are the nine? Where are the nine? Where are the nine? Where are the nine? Oh, where are the nine? Where are the nine? Where are the nine? One man come to worship. Where are the nine? Where are the nine? Where are the nine? One man come to worship. Where are the nine? Where are the nine? Where are the nine? One man come to worship. Where are the nine? Where are the nine? Where are the nine? Where are the nine? Bẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́ òkú ìgbọ́nà bákèrè olówó ẹyọ èṣù ní kórè wá ẹlẹ́gbàrà ní kò bí lọ bẹ́lẹ̀kẹ́ ní dàrá orò sáwò nílé èṣù máa ṣẹ́ mi ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ́ omi ní òṣè èṣù máa ṣẹ́ wá. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀ bẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀ bẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́. Nobody can take my joy away. I am born to be happy. Every single wish I supply for me is enough to be jolly. God no need to be worried, no. Cause life is a blessing, no. My life is a blessing, no. Eshu deo deo, eshu deo deo, eshu deo deo. Asana. Eshu deo deo, eshu deo deo, eshu deo deo. Agena. Every morning I awake, I give thanks to my glory. Eshu lalui umbes, all doors open up for me. Bad energies, no room for you, oh no. All good things I must get through. Ọmọ ẹ̀ ló ìran ní òṣè. Ọ̀la ìlú, èṣù bá ní kọ̀ ọ̀wọ́ ìlú. Òró ìlú, ọ̀la ìlú. Ọba ẹ̀ bọ̀rà nílẹ̀ kẹ́tù. Èṣù ìbẹ́ bọ̀ orúkún. Ẹlẹ́gbàrà ní bẹ́ bọ̀ òrùsà. Ẹlẹ́gbàrà ní bẹ́ bọ̀ orúkún òrùsà. Oníbòde. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Bẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ bàbá. Èṣù dẹ́ bàbá. Èṣù dẹ́ bàbá. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀. Èṣù mọ̀kàsẹ́ o. Bàbá ló dé àgọ́yà. 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 Èṣù mọ̀kàsẹ́ o. Èṣù. Wọ́n lè wá egungun ìbá o wọ́n lè o. Persecution, horrors, wolewa. When they try to oppress me, humiliate and stop me, wolewa. I pour libation and send my supplication into the spirit realm, wolewa. Never will they let me down, Wolewa. They see my tears, they feel my pain. With patience I'll rise again, Wolewa. I must stay focused to fulfill my purpose, and I will conquer all. Ancestors, rituals or something. Hear us. Come on, hear me. want to see mother face. I want to see she face.
Mother, I see she.
Yo, Alex.
Yepa, o batala yepa, 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 yepa, o batala yepa,
you to fight the fight on our behalf. Ancestors, we call on you to walk on our enemies. Asheo. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. Walk on them, 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 Aruba ancestors, 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 walk on them, 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 walk on them. Ancestors, we call on you. Ancestors, we call on you. You came across the middle passage. Ancestors, we call on you. Some are shown up about some are show. Ancestors, we call on you. From this land of Trinidad, great warriors, we call on you. Walk on them, 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 Aruba ancestors, 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 walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. Great mother, we call on you. Iwer, we call on you. Your children crying, dreaming. For great mother, we call on you. When we bought this libation, we threw it for the nation. From the four corners of Trinidad, great mothers, we call on you. Walk on them, 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 Aruba ancestors, 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 walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them.
Shishi. Yes, so we are here once again on the Iwer show. We have live on the Street 919 FM. We're streaming live on the Street 919 FM Facebook page. We're also streaming live on YouTube on Iwer TV. So tonight we have a exciting topic, the attributes and behavior of a husband and a wife, you know. It's going to be exciting, you know. So we just like to start off, and I'll give Shaka that opportunity to start it off as we normally start it off. But this Monday and next week Monday will be the final episodes for the end of this year as we take a break, a 2 weeks break, and we come back on the second Monday in January 2022. You know, but next week Monday, what we'll be doing, we will have some small giveaways, you know, from the sponsors. We'll have gift certificates, you know, we'll have things for you guys, you fans of the Ifa Orisha. We have live program on the Street 919 FM. Olodumare has blessed us during this year, and he's blessing us even more for more and more years to come. So Shaka.
Ekali, Trinidad and Tobago, pleasant good night. Ekabo, welcome to the Street 919 Ifa Orisha way of life.
Ben.
According to Ifa Okoran Onwori, Ifa says that Olodumare, our creator, is a universal energy that is in charge of this multiverse.
Ben.
So we say Iba Olodumare.
Ashe.
Iba to our Ori.
Ashe.
Iba to our mothers. Iba to our fathers. Iba to one's Ulowo.
Ashe.
One's Ianifa. One's Ojubona. Iba to one's ancestors.
Ashe.
Whose shoulders we are hoisted upon.
Beni.
Iba Barami Agbonirigun.
Ashe.
Orenmela.
Ashe.
The witness to our fate and destiny. Iba Akoda. Iba Asheda.
Ashe.
The first students of Olodumare, of Orunmela.
Ashe.
Iba Oreyo Oshun, our sweet mother. Iba Ogulakaye. Iba Baba Yeshu. Iba Shongo Kabesi. Iba Orishanla. Ipa Orisha.
Ipa Orisha.
Iba Bogbo Orisha.
Ashe.
Iba to this land of Trinidad and Tobago. Iba to this blessed plain we stand upon Unile. We give thanks and we ask that as we start our program, may our program reach its magnitude of blessing.
Ashe.
May the information and the wisdom that is shared reaches, and may it be maintained in the ori of how we go about our daily proceedings.
Ashe.
We ask this in no other name but Olodumare's most sacred and bountiful name.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashewa.
So I say Iba to all Ilays, Palays, all elders, Ianifas, Babalawos, Omorisha, Olorishas.
Ashe.
Located all over Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, the US, all over the world. I like to say Aborabo Yabo Sishe Tatiba Swamba Ile Juba Gogbo Risha Mimo Fun Osa Shrine of Table and
Ashe.
Locked On, and all other shrines that are locked on to the Ifa Orisha Way of Life program. And let's like to shout out some of the folks on Facebook. Tanika Mahabia, she's there. Lestra Granger is there. Gillian Cielto is there. Angie St. Paul, she's also there. Aina, she's also there. You know, Orisha Ugenlade from a Nubian Experience, he's locked on.
Ashe.
You know, these are the folks. Jesse Harrison is locked on. You know, Ifa Taishe, Atinumu, our brother, he's also locked on. So, you know, we're going Chantel is also locked on. So, Iya Umi, I say pleasant good night to you, Iya Umi.
Ekaleo.
You know, and I would like to say happy Earth Strong to Baba our Tunde Elobion, Baba Mitchell.
Ashe.
We celebrate his Earth Strong today. May Olodumare grant you more life, strength,
Ashe.
prosperity. May your ancestors continue to be with you and walk with you. Those who clear the way
Ashe.
for you, you know. And the topic tonight, Sherry Ann Gibbs is also locked on.
Good night, Sherry.
You know, so I'm gonna pay some bills, you know. So next week, Monday, I know some of all you who tune in and listening from since the beginning of this year, we'll be asking some questions. and we'll having some giveaways.
Facts.
But Angie St. Paul, she will call me just now, We have some giveaways next week, from Kamara, Nice Nuts.
We have
Omoino, These folks, Nicole Huggins, we have things coming,
We have also the Throne of Gold. And we have giveaways as well that will be coming from the Oshun Ogun vegetable mart that is in Omera Road.
Yes.
So nice giveaways is on the cards,
Yes. We have gift cards. We have Nubian Experience. So you never know. You get a gift card 5%, 10% off. You could buy a nice, lovely jersey from a Nubian Experience. These are folks. I mean, it rough and it tough out there, but they try and support us. I'll be taking calls from 8:30. So I'll just like to go pay the bills. Patricia says it's first time she's on,
Ekabo, welcome Patricia. Daniel?
You see if tonight was a night like next week, should I get a prize? Just first time being on the program, So we going shank by shank. There are other programs that highlights Ifa Orisha practices like Soca TV, So we are trying to get our tradition out there the right way. As Shaka does always say, an adept. When you're seeking help, seek help from an adept, Babalawo, Ianifa, Orisha, someone who knows what they are doing.
Or an elder too.
Or an elder, yes.
Elder as well.
Also this elder Dande,
Baba Dande. He made his transition.
Yes, so may he have a smooth transition. May his ancestors welcome him. And may we continue to pour libation, and let's not forget him. Because those are the elders who came before us. Those are the elders who paved the way for us to make us, myself, King Shaka.
And he was also a guest on this program.
Yes.
Sometime last year he came through.
Last year?
And he made a very sterling contribution.
Time flying so fast as last year.
He was here last year.
So let us continue to make this tradition, this way of life, grow from strength to strength.
Ashe.
And I'm going to pay some bills. Must pay the bills, So Shaka, how was the weekend, man?
It was good, brother.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, if I says those who give thanks would receive another blessing tomorrow, so I would just say it was a blessing. I'm thankful. A lot of work.
Sponsors for the Orisha way of life. Kamara's Culture Store, the #1 importer and supplier of genuine products from Africa, located at Adams Bazaar Main Road, Shogunas. Contact number 672-8438, 320-8866. Gossip Gel Polish, gel with a difference. Contact number 382-7587. Come, let us take care of your feet, Petty by Risi. They also sell butters. Contact number 398-4474. Nubian Experience, clothing that tells part of our rich African history. Number 6 Woodford Street, Arima. Contact number 688-1979. Oriyumi, Nicole Huggins, Health and Wealth Lifestyle. Number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. EMG out of Texas. Richie's Tire and Automotive Car Care Center. Number 409 Otello Drive, Hampton, Georgia. Sponsors for the Ifa Orisha way of life.
Also sponsored by the Throne of Gold for all your African supplies and clothing. Their contact number is 754-5128. That is the Throne of Gold. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Omo Inu, all things woman. For all your Yoni products, they are the sole women's haven distributor for Trinidad and Tobago. Their contact number is 365-4332. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Black Tie-Dye Catering Service, 683-8755. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Awo Wabande Tonic, 388-4606. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Ile Josio Turameji, Awo Oshun. Thank you.
Yes, so we back at it. I am Shaka. You better bring a bottle of that tonic for me. You know what I mean? So we back at it. So also one of the sponsors of the Ifa Orisha we have live program on the Street 919 FM is the Abalaye Spiritual and Huber store located in Edinburgh 500. We also have the Ifa Orisha School of Enlightenment.
Yes.
the School of Enlightenment, they are also on board with us.
Facts.
And anybody who has a business out there and willing to come on board and sponsor, because not every month a sponsor will be able, to give something or give a contribution. But this is ours. Let us contribute to it and make it grow from strength to strength.
Sure.
So the topic tonight is attributes of a good husband and wife. So
Shaka, standard.
Yes. So Shaka, I would like you to just, before we go into it, I just like you, before I set up the Facebook on this screen, like you to just touch on it before I start to extempo on it. Yeah.
So pleasant night again, everyone. Ekabo, welcome. And on this session of the Ifa Orisha Way of Life, this is a topic that was by popular demand. Persons were asking, what constitutes the behavior of a good husband and wife according to Ifa Orisha standard? What makes a man a good husband and what makes a woman a good wife? Now, before we start, I would just like to say that according to Ifa, Ifa tells us about procreation and multiplying. So when we speak about a good husband and wife, we must first examine that person's destiny. And as we know in our tradition, once a person is seeking to have a husband or a wife, there are certain things that must be investigated first.
Benny.
And our tradition teaches us that before a man takes a woman as his wife, the man must subject himself to go and get a proper reading done to find out if this person he is setting his eyes on is in line with his destiny. And when that is done, it would give, that man or that woman a guide as to find out if this person would be best suited to be part of their life. So, for example, case in point, if a man sees a woman and without taking that initial step to go and investigate whether or not the woman is compatible with him, that could bring problems onto that person's destiny. Because as we all know in Ifa, we live our life according to what Olodumare have set out for us. And if a person puts themselves with the wrong person, it could spell disaster for that person's life. For example, putting oneself with the wrong person, that person could throw you off your path to success and your path to greatness. So Ifa always advises couples, in fact people, come to get a proper DAFA or Ifa consultation done to find out if the compatibility is there, because it will eliminate problems. Because sometimes we might see a situation whereby a person is in a abusive relationship and the person is facing suffering and hardship. We must examine spiritually as well if that person is with the correct person, if that person is with their soulmate. Because as we know in our tradition, everybody is made for somebody.
Benny.
And we must find out who is our somebody, who is our partner. So that is why before we get into good attributes of a good husband, we must first understand how the setup goes. A person must first find out, ask a question. You come to Ifa, you sit on the mat and you do the proper thing.
Ben.
You don't put the cart before the horse. You know, you don't go and lay with a person and then, you know, you make plans with them and you put the cart before the horse and then down the road, you're going to ask if this person is compatible with you. You put the cart where the cart have to be and you put the horse where the horse have to be and you take steps in the proper way. Because even for young people, you know, I'm a young person myself, you know, and our elders have taught us, you know, you take your time, you know, sometimes engaging in certain things, as Yogbe says, don't grasp at things of the world in a form of uncontrolled passion, because this could lead to a person's demise. So in terms of matters of the heart, a person must truly take their time and get that guidance on how to proceed with a relationship.
Ben.
Because we have seen in our country and other parts of the world where there are rising cases of domestic violence and all sorts of negative things. But we must first examine ourselves as men, and our sisters must examine themselves too.
Ben.
Once we are spiritually grounded, this would eliminate a lot of issues. This would eliminate a lot of issues. So you put the cart where it's supposed to be, and you put the horse where it is supposed to be. I show you.
And then you sit where you need to sit.
You sit where you need to sit.
In charge of the horse and the cart, and we're going down the road. So, attributes of a good husband, you know, this is a topic that we, certain ears, certain people who viewing the program have been calling for, you know.
Yeah.
They have been calling for, and we're gonna keep it balanced, you know.
Balance, facts.
So I'm calling out to elders out there who may be listening in Radio Land, who may be watching on Facebook, on YouTube. Feel free, we'll open the lines from about 8:30, where we can converse and get a good understanding of the topic tonight: attributes of a good husband, vice versa, good wife. Literally translated, Igbayawo is the act of lifting the woman off her feet, indicating a man who is capable of taking up all the responsibilities of the woman single-handed and combining it with his own. Under Ijiogbe, all the qualities a man has to possess to be a judge, a good husband, are narrowed to 3. A husband must be able to put something into the mouth of the woman. This is the feeding of, may not be interested in, but by own Milia putting a smile into the mouth of his wife. The misunderstanding which could have ended in a divorce was amicably settled, and she has returned to his house. Shaka?
Ashe. And Ifa, again in age, Yogbe, told us that the man must be able to put something in the wife's mouth.
Ben.
And as that essay had outlined, yes, the man must have substance. The man must have substance. He must be able to be wise and use wisdom in order to function as a husband. A husband must not be hot-headed. A husband must not be hasty. A husband must be able to provide, you know. And as we had said earlier, we cannot put the cart before the horse, you know. So Ifa is telling us as men that we need to be able to provide for our spouses.
Ben.
We have to be able to provide for those who come to stay with us.
Mm-hmm.
So it tells us that Ifa does not support being lazy.
Sure.
Ifa does not support being lazy and expecting, you know, the relationship itself to go one-sided. Ashe?
Ashe. So the husband must be able to cover the woman with something. On the face value, This may be translated to mean the cloth which a woman has to dress with and all the ornaments that go with it. The actual meaning of this is that the man has to make the woman feel secure. The man has to make the woman feel secure.
Ashe.
The man has to strive to provide for his wife all the things that would make her feel secure as a wife. Apart from this, the husband has to act as a protector, defending his wife on those things that he knows may make people to dislike her in an effort to make the words of Ifa about the marriage to come to pass. When Urunmila married Iwer, who was a very sloppy person, she did not know how to cook, neither did she know how to cater for her husband. But Urunmila had been told that if she married her, she would be one that would change his life by giving him children that would make him happy. This came true for Urunmila, and it is these children who contributed immensely to the spread of Ifa worldwide.
Ashe.
Shaka.
And again, Ifa is telling us that Urunmila was given the advice of Ifa to marry Iwer, and that marriage resulted in bountiful blessings. So again, Ifa is telling us the merits of choosing a good partner. It results in Ire.
Ben.
It results in Ire.
Ben.
Because according to Ogbe Yunu, right, Ifa tells us about the story of Urunmila when he went to a particular place. And whilst he was there, Ifa had told him to stay there and endure everything that was thrown at him. So whilst Urunmila was at that particular place, he was staying in a palace barn, and he was ill-treated by the daughter of the king, not knowing that that daughter had also consulted Ifa, and Ifa had told her that her husband was on his way. But she had to put him through a particular test. And at the end of it, Urunmila showed patience, he showed perseverance, and he trusted the word of Ifa. And at the end of it, he married the king's wife. And that, in fact, he married the king's daughter. And that resulted in bountiful blessings. That resulted in an Ire that came to him. Ire of children, Ire of prosperity,
long life.
Ire of long life, the Ire of good life.
Benny.
And all of these things came because he and his partner was compatible for each other. And that compatibility, it even spreads to our generation to come. Because once we've set up ourselves with that foundation, it gives blessings for our generations to come. Asheo.
I'd just like to touch on some of the comments on Facebook here. We are streaming live on the Street 919 FM Facebook page. We're also streaming live on YouTube on Iwer TV. Aina says that essay is very important from E.J. Ogbe for both the husband and the wife, the young men and women. Debian Pollard says, as old people say, laziness is a sin. Aina says again, husbands provide and protect with patience. Ashe. Kiana Williams says, very good topic. So we continue again. You know, the husband must be able to put something into the vagina of the woman. By this, it is understood that the man must be able to make love to his wife as when due. Love making to the woman is a little complicated and would be given special treatment. You know, woman, based on the second explanation earlier, earlier given to Ayawo, if you call someone from along the way to come and witness a particular thing inside your house, you have to be able to entertain such a person. Food is very important for the substance of the house and for the man to be seen as taking care of his wife. Secondly, the man has to be able to put a smile into the mouth, in the face of his wife by giving her good stories to tell about her marriage. This is by the husband making her to see that he is devoted to her and making her happy at all times. This is the first factor that would engender for initial love to become deeper or shallow. Riete Ogbe explains this detail by revealing what happened to Atan among the 3 people who went to Urunmila to perform divination so that they could be big on earth. It was the wives of Olokun and Olosa that were taking care of the rats which were respective husbands ought to offer as sacrifice, as against Akinokun, the wife of Atan, who was eating all the rats her husband was bringing home. Olokun and Olosa became big as they were able to bring out their sacrifice of rats to be offered in full. But Atan, the swamp, could not get a single rat to offer. Intentively, for the man who is striving to become a force in the society, the wife has an important role to play in either making or marrying his ambition. Putting a good smile on her face also include being able to apologize if one offends the other. This can be found well explained by Okanran Ogunda and many others. Urunmila had married Morino, who decided to divorce him due to one reason. Shaka.
And Ifa tells us, again, as we had started, that compatibility goes a long way as the foundation. And that essay that you had just read had told us that as a man, as men, we must be inspiration to our women.
Benny.
You know, we would have to do things that would inspire them. We must, do things that would give them that joy. And when they have that joy, they would share the good stories of what is taking place in their homes. Because we inspire each other, and sisters would inspire other sisters by the experiences that they would encounter along the way. So it's important and it's incumbent on every husband, to imbibe that quality of patience and wisdom in dealing with things within every single relationship. Now, Ifa does not say that problems would not come and challenges would not come in any relationship. But what Ifa offers is the foundation, which tells us that where there is compatibility, where there is understanding, where there is reasoning, that would give a buffer for when certain things come. A person must have that mature mindset, to listen and to take time to understand each side. Because as a husband, we have grown up in a chauvinistic world. We have been indoctrinated in a world where chauvinism has put certain customs and behaviors as the norm. And Ifa tells us as men, we need to humble down. We need, to play our part and yet still promote our women in the right way. Ifa tells us these things. Ogboato.
Benny. So Ifa says, lovemaking to the woman. Ifa says in Iwori Odi as follows: Iwori, look at me. Idi, look at me. It is whomsoever that is ours that sees our nakedness, cast divination for Iwori. On the day that he was going to look at the private parts, Iwori, please. Iwori, we plead. How can a person explore the private parts on an empty stomach? Iwori, please. Iwori, we plead. This verse says so much about the relationship of the wife with her husband. First, for as long as she remains under the roof of her husband, no one else is allowed to see her nakedness or have carnal knowledge of her. This she must never forget. Secondly, the woman also must reciprocate her husband's gesture of providing for the upkeep of the family by making sure that food is adequately prepared for the husband. Ifa specifies that apart from the fact that the man ought to be on top while making love, it ought to be done at night. I'm gonna say this over again. Love making to the woman, Ifa says in Iwori Odi as follows: Iwori, look at me. Idi, look at me. It is whomsoever that is ours that sees our nakedness. Cast divination for Iwori. On the day he was going to look at the private parts, Iwori replied, how can a person explore the private parts on an empty stomach? Iwori replied. You know, this verse says so much about the relationship of the wife with her husband. First, for as long as she remains under the roof of her husband, no one else is allowed to see her nakedness or have carnal knowledge of her. This she must never forget. Secondly, the woman also must reciprocate her husband's gesture for providing for the upkeep of the family by making sure that food is adequately prepared for the husband. Ifa specifies that apart from the fact that the man ought to be on top while making love, it ought to be done at night. Shaka?
Ifa, again, tells us in that essay that you just read there, to do things in the proper way. Do things that is pleasing to Olodumare in terms of being in our relationship. Ifa tells us, because nowadays we have this social media thing now where people taking out half naked pics and posting it on the Facebook or on the Instagram and having their bodies exposed. Ifa is telling us that these things are wrong. Ifa is telling us that we must keep ourselves. We must only allow our husbands or our wives to see our nakedness. It's not for everybody to see and look at. It's about preserving, the institution of the family. So Ifa is telling us that as a man and as a woman, the nakedness of copulation is between these two people. It mustn't go beyond that. It mustn't go on social media, It mustn't go on social media, and we too, as a people, mustn't get caught up in the love and the likes on social media, because we are seeing now where not only young people, you're seeing all manners of people posting up all kind of half-naked thing on the Facebook, And these are the things that are not pleasing to Olodumare. Because Ifa tells us that the marriage, the husband and the wife are the only ones that must see each other's nakedness.
Benny, this topic is real life, Ifa really is a way of life.
Yeah, facts.
I just like us to touch
some heavy
on
questions
some of the comments, Shaka. Here, I'm gonna touch on Ingrid. In the case of multiple spouses, should the degree of compatibility of the woman also be consulted?
Yes, according to Irosun Udi, that is Udu, Irosun Udi. So, what that Udu tells us about polygamy, it tells us that if a man is not able to equally treat and upkeep his spouses, that person is wasting their time. Because that Udu tells us the dangers of failing to provide equally and failing to treat partners in a just and a balanced way. It results in the downfall of that man. So Ifa tells us compatibility goes across the board. So if you already have your foundation wife, your first wife, it doesn't mean you just run all over and seek to pick up somebody to bring in your household, because that could be dangerous. So before that is even done, Ifa tells us that the person must consult with their partner first, to find out if this is ready, if they are ready for this type of upliftment. Because Ifa speaks in ways that is not about confusion. And again, polygamy is for spiritually matured people, mentally, emotionally matured people. It's not for everybody. And even though Ifa would say that within a person's destiny, that along the way there is polygamy, there are ways in which it must be done. And according to Ironsun Odi, Ifa tells us that that person's life must be organized in a way that when that time comes, there must be balance between all the parties involved.
Benny.
And apart from that as well too, Ifa in this particular Udu, I believe it is Oshe Okaran, Ifa tells us too that sometimes a husband and wife could be having problems to have a child. And in this particular Udu, Ifa is telling us that when there is a second wife in that family structure, the second wife would be able to clear the way for the first wife to have a child.
Benny.
So Ifa speaks in ways that based on that person's destiny would bring blessing. So if polygamy is in the destiny of a person, we must be patient and we must be humble enough to heed the words of Ifa.
That is not Ifa?
Yes, because we cannot take things as if Olodumare does not know what Olodumare is doing. Sometimes we could only see the picture from one angle. But when we are being patient and we use that humility and we submit ourselves to the words of Ifa, the blessings may be right around the corner.
Sure.
So even when we're speaking about polygamy, we must speak with it not in a dismissive way, but we must have that humility and use wisdom to take our time and engage and treat with it. Asheo.
So Ingrid, we answer that question for you. Ingrid says, she says night only, but I know what she's talking about, because it says here, why she says night only, I'm gonna say that especially if the end product is for conception, that the man be on top is more or less of ethics than of morality. Ifa says in Oshe Odi, he said Oshe Odi, it is the night that adults fight with their buttocks, i.e. make love. So I'm coming back to Ingrid here. Princess Anna Maria Baker says, pleasant night.
Pleasant night.
She says, we must preserve our temple.
Ashe, facts.
Kiana Williams says, my point exactly. Mimi says, respecting oneself is important. Princess Anna says here, this is Baba Baker's daughter here. You
Okay.
know,
Pleasant
I am
night,
happy
sister.
to see men in this tradition speak about this. I'm proud. Spice Robert says, good night to be good in the house, Mr. Duke and Shaka.
Good night, Spice.
You know, Ingrid says here, but Baba, if a man has 4 wives, how will a man manage night service only? Equality.
And again, Ifa it has outlined that in Irosum Odi, that man must know his strengths. That man must have the wisdom and the aptitude and the skill and that spiritual acumen as well to manage his family. And as well too, it's a total cooperation. It's a cooperation. It's a cooperation because there's blessings for everyone. Sometimes we may be able to see one side of the picture, and right around the other corner there's bountiful lessons, because our tradition is not one of confusion, you know.
It's nice. Princess Baker says, Suru humility, yes, Baba, although Mari knows what he is doing. So we're going to continue here. Another one under Ofun Ika says, Ofun knows the gauge of Ika. Ika knows the gauge of Ofun. Darkness is the gauge of the night. The one that makes love knows the gauge time of approach in the night. Failure to abide by the tenets of Ifa may be behind many aberrations found in our world of today. Ifa enjoys that lovemaking ought to be done in the middle of the night when everyone, especially the children, are at sleep. You know, and that is respect. You know, that is respect. That is respect. Respect right there in a nutshell. You want to touch on that? Ingrid, it's good. This is what we are about here on the Ifa way of life. It's not about disrespect. It's about bringing clarity. You know, it's about bringing clarity.
And again, in this Udu or Yeku or Kara, Ifa is telling us that the reason why we make love in the way that it's decent, it is because we are showing our children respect. So Ifa is telling us the reason why it's done in the middle of the night when all the children are asleep. It's to prevent perversions from taking place in their minds. Again, Ifa tells us that we must create that environment for our children to flourish. So we must not contaminate them with things that are not within their gauge of development. So Ifa tells us, when love making is done, our children must not be able to hear us or see us, because that may encourage them to go out there and try certain things or do certain things that they are not ready for.
But Shaka,
and our children
in the world today, you're seeing parents, you're seeing children doing things that they're not supposed to do because parents doing it in front of them.
Yeah, it's a fact. So Ifa is telling us that we must be very careful of our children seeing us engaging in sexual acts. Ifa tells us that, because even when you watch, you know, on certain forms of social media, you would be seeing, you know, young people making videos, school children making videos, and all of these things. And here in Oyeku Akara, Ifa is telling us that we must nip the bud from our homes by doing the right thing and providing our children with these good examples. Ashe.
So we're gonna pay some bills. We're gonna play some bills by the sponsors, and you know we always say to you guys, you know, if we ask for that sponsorship for the show to continue, because it's not cheap. There's a lot of equipment that being used here even to get it to stream. And we'll say we give thanks to the management of the Street 919 FM Chini Bashment. Even if you feel to make a contribution, you can make your contributions straight to Chini Bashment. You can reach out to me 3494121, or you can reach out to King Shaka. You know, and let us keep this great program on air. So we're gonna play some bass and come right back at you. Don't touch that dial. Street 919 FM, the Ifa Orisha Way of Life program.
Sponsors for the Orisha Way of Life. Kamara's Culture Store, the #1 importer and supplier of genuine products from Africa, located at Adams Bazaar Main Road, Shogunas. Contact number 672-8438, 320-8866. Gossip Gel Polish, gel with a difference. Contact number 3827587. Come, let us take care of your feet, Petty by Risi. They also sell butters. Contact number 3984474. Nubian Experience, clothing that tells part of our rich African history. Number 6 Woodford Street, Arima. Contact number 6881979. Oriyumi, Nico Loggins, Health and Wealth Lifestyle. Number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. EMG out of Texas. Richie's Tire and Automotive Car Care Center. Number 409 Otello Drive, Hampton, Georgia. Sponsors for the Ifa Orisha Way of Life.
Also sponsored by the Throne of Gold for all your African supplies and clothing. Their contact number is 754-5128. That is the Throne of Gold. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Omo Inu, all things woman. For all your Yoni products, they are the sole women's haven distributor for Trinidad and Tobago. Their contact number is 365-4332. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Black Tie-Dye Catering Service, 683-8755. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Awo Wabande Tonic, 388-4606. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Ile Josio Turameji, Awo Oshun. Thank you.
Yes, you know, a very nice topic tonight. You know, and the ears, the female, they out in their numbers tonight, Shaka. They're just loving this topic.
Yeah, because it's real.
I just want to touch on some of, if Taisha Tinumu says great topic. Iage says about Shishe. She's late. Ingrid says it's not so much of the appearance, but what is shown everywhere on social media and on TV. That's facts.
Facts you're speaking.
Chantal says, Ashe. Mimi says, it have adults allowing children to look at these things when they should know better not to. I agree with that, especially in my home. Sometime I will tell my wife, that I say I strict, I had this military way about me right through, They say I don't switch off, but I remember when you see rated PG in my time growing up with my mom, it has certain things I cannot say, I cannot do.
Facts.
I cannot watch. And these children after they are so open.
Yeah.
And they are not afraid to say, they are not afraid to do.
Yeah.
Because they say they'll pick up the phone and call the police. But I will whip you.
Facts.
I will whip you. Use my child, I mind you.
A lot. Umishe, I mean, parenting. Back in the day, we couldn't watch any shows like Young and the Restless. No type of show that was of
but young
big people
young
content.
Restless showing while we in school.
Yeah, and even when you reach home and it have any rerun anything, you can't see that.
Nah.
In my household growing up, my mom and my father, you couldn't sit down with them and anything showing with kissing or any form of anything lewd.
No.
They switching off that TV. In fact, TV time done.
Your
TV time done.
News time, Eddie.
And it was, growing up, it was one show for the week. News, after that in your bed. Because school the next day. On a Friday,
MacGyver.
You'll watch a little show. You might watch a little Xena. You might watch a little 24. But they control our content.
Sure.
Now is a much different time because it have the cell phone, it have the tablets, and now children have online classes, and some parents really don't have the time to really understand how dangerous these modern devices are. But there are things like child protection locks that could assist and detect if a child is seeking, to go upon pornographic sites and these things. As much as these are methods, of learning, we also need to be careful. We need to be careful with what we leave in our children's hands. Don't leave them with no phone whole night, because you don't know what they would be doing with it. Because we have to protect them, because out there the predators are real. The predators are real.
Look, Spice Roberts is saying here from Tobago, we had no show, only news, nothing else. Time is different now. Iaj says that's Warrior Empress. She says, I still feel awkward if I watching a show with love making.
That is mother.
And my mom sitting there.
That is mother.
Ingrid says Disney Channel. Oh God, Ingrid. Disney Channel does promote a lot of content that was not considered PG some 30 years ago, and that's so true.
Yeah.
That's facts, but we in this tradition, even if you're not in the tradition and you're listening, we need to get a grasp of the situation. We need to hold and we need to really parent our children, because the rate we're going at today, in the next 15 years, trust me, it
will be worse.
It will be just worse, So we continue the topic here as we make our way up to 9 p.m. Cover me up in Barra so that I will cover you up in Bobo, Aile Ife. Whenever we wake up at dawn, we should care for each other. Cast divination for Milia. That warns against using Ifa's money to keep concubines. Because of what they had asked. Ifa says it is time to make them have wealth, to make them have good wives, and such that they would have children and also build a good home in life. I plead with you, earnings from Ifa never give to a mistress. I plead with you all. And every time we hear, and even while I'm sitting here, I learn and I understand, and I put it to the perspective of my life also. So Shaka, in another one under Oiko Canran, I believe you should extempore on that essay right there. Cover me up in Barra.
Ifa is saying that the family that you are so blessed to have under the sun given to you by Olodumare and the ancestors, we must take care of our family.
Benny.
We must not take our earnings, our hard-earned earnings, and engage in extramarital affairs. Ifa is telling us in Oyeku Akara that the hard-earned money that you make, spend it on your family in ways that it is taking care of them.
Benny.
Because Ifa is telling us here the dangers of taking your hard-earned savings to spend on outside mistresses. It puts you in a position of lack. Because remember, a family is a blessing by Olodumare. A family is a blessing by one's Egbe. Because if we all have Egbe or Rune, we all would have Egbe Aye. And we must take care of our families on earth. So it's a curse to not take care of one's family.
Benny.
If a person have children and they rather spend their monies on outside mistresses than their children, that is bringing a curse onto that person's life. They would not have rest. Things would go very topsy-turvy for them, because Remember, whatever we do, it is witnessed by the ancestors. It is witnessed by our Egbe. It is witnessed by the Orisha. It is witnessed by Olodumare. So we must be careful in the things we do that is around our family. Because Ifa tells us the reason why we are placed in a family, it is because it's our family that is the launch pad to our success. So every person who is on this earth, whether they have a family or not, a family is what gives you your launch pad to success, because Olodumare knows the reason why you were specifically and uniquely placed within that particular family. So it's incumbent on you to take care of your family. Ashe?
Ashe. I like to say Kale to Agba Ishoshigun from Barbados. Peace, love and blessings. He's always locked on to the Farisha We Have Life program here. Touching on some of the comments, Shaka, I have a call here. I'm going to take this call. This person has been calling for Abora Boya Boshishe caller.
Ogbato.
Abora Boya Boshishe. Listen, so much knowledge here. And this is something should be mainstream. Children should be able to access this type of knowledge to put a wedge between them and all the madness that is going on with the social media and so on. But those were the days, what you all speak of there with the television and so on. You couldn't look at these programs after a certain hour and all of that. Now you're seeing things on the television, men and men together, woman and all of this kind of thing. But anyways, why I called mostly is because I want to share, when you speak of polygamy, an African friend I had many years ago. He worked with the United Nations, a very intelligent man. And he said that his father had 3 wives. And he never knew who his birth mother was until he was going to university. I mean, that to me speaks, it says so much. It moves me because these 3 women loved this boy just like each one of them gave birth to him.
Ashe to that.
He did not know. So when we think in polygamy, who he going with tonight and who he going with tomorrow night, no. It's about one unit and the family and the love and the raising the children. And we had the tail end of it takes a village to raise a child. That is why things were in a more tight rein before, because if you go on down the road and you do something, by the time you reach home, your parents already know because everybody looked out. So you understand what I'm saying? That story moved me so much. He said he never knew who his birth mother was until he had to go to university and probably she had to sign papers or whatever.
True.
So much for us to learn, but I am so appreciative of you all. Please let the young people be hearing. Okay. Ashe. Bye.
Thank you, Iya.
No, she's Iya is always supportive of this program each and every Monday night. She's always very supportive. So the lines are open.
I see somebody have a question.
So you guys here are going to that right now. Yeah, Ifa Sola says, as they keep destroying in the front, we shall remain mending from behind. Mimi says, but how can a parent allow the child to watch movie with much love making and didn't think that it is a bother, but won't do that with their very own? Ingrid says, yeah, a mistress. What is the difference between a mistress and a wife when polygamy is involved?
Very good question. The difference between a wife and a mistress. When a person is considered a wife under Ifa, it means that the person has undergone the initiation of marriage, whereby the ceremony and the correct rites and rituals under, the tradition is involved. Whereby in fact, in comparison to a mistress, if a person is considered a mistress of a man, she is behind the scenes and hiding, whereby she is not married to the man. There was no rites and no ritual performed in that union. And apart from a person being called a wife, the family, it's a marriage of families. So the family must know the person.
Benny.
Because if I, back in the day when I was courting, I took my lady home so that she could meet my parents. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is, when I had carried her home, I said, I want to meet your parents. I want to meet the people who made you. And this is the protocol and the principle of our tradition. You give the parents respect.
Ben.
Because parents have an eye for a lot of things before it happens.
So true.
They will tell you, hey, here what's going on. You see this person you're bringing here. They have a kind of vibe.
Yes.
So you must give your parents that respect. You don't go and do things, without your parents knowing. Or you don't plan a marriage and then come and invite your parents. That is wrong. In Ifa, that is wrong, You must receive the blessing of your parents.
Benny.
The blessing of one's mother.
Ashe.
The blessings of one's father.
Ashe.
That is how it goes. You cannot just plan a wedding with a person
That's
and then
onesie
come home and
shasha.
say, Mommy, I and the man, we hide and get married in the Red House. That is not how our ancestors have laid the foundation for us. You must give respect to one's parents and let them know what is happening. So when a person is so-called a mistress, that person is in hiding. Families is not involved. The rites and the rituals have been foregone. And it's an act of putting the cart before the horse.
That's what's happening in society a lot today. It's all about we get attracted to a woman by sex, by the look, physical features, but
Facts.
to understand the true vibration and the feeling and understanding of this person, it going out the window. It's just about, I meet you, you meet me, we meet, bam, 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 and we go on. So I just like to touch again. Mimi says, if I speak on children being allowed to be children.
Yes.
Kiana Williams says, Ashe. Ifa Sola says, in Ifa, that mistress is no mistress if that woman has a child for you. So we going down, In another one under Oiko Okanran, Mark Babiola, the child of Asinile Padiale Luna, died because of his insistence on keeping mistresses despite the warning of Ifa. He was clubbed to death. Everywhere quiet. Ifa says that the final formation of a fetus is not just because of a man's physique, but because of the divine presence of Olodumare, who gives life to the particular sperm to be able to fertilize an egg. The carelessness of parents who make love at periods when their children can spy or stumble on them may account for the current trend whereby children of just the age of 2 or 3 have been found in the act of making love to each other. All these had been predicted by Ifa before this time, and that is fact, Shaka.
Facts.
That there is fact, Shaka.
Remember, we have spoke about the way Ifa said and outlined that how the way love making must be done. It must be done in a respectable way so your children would not stumble upon you and see you, because what they see is what they would do. Because even you would see children would mimic everything you see, and if their minds are contaminated at an early age, what do you think would happen? Apple don't make grapes. Apple don't make grapes. You will see a manifestation of what they have been seeing, either good or bad. And Ifa speaks profoundly on this. Ashe.
Ashe. So marriage between siblings. If about sexual relationship between siblings or those related in any way by blood. The butchers this, if I ask a question, to whom do we pay the bride price of the woman? Shaka?
And again, Ifa is telling us that we must not contaminate our bloodlines.
Benny.
Ifa is telling us that the marriage between siblings is very much wrong. Love making between siblings is very much wrong.
Benny.
You don't go with your family members in layman's terms because that is against, the principle and the tenets of what Ifa says. Ifa is asking, to whom do we pay the price for the bride? If you marry into your family, what would happen? What would happen? What could happen? And Ifa
disaster
condemns that.
Disaster.
Ifa is asking, to whom do we pay the bride price for the woman? So if a person goes with their sister and something happens, that is chaos, confusion, tragedy, bacchanal, disaster. That is causing generational curses.
Benny. Chantel says here, facts and children not stupid. They does well know what going on. Ingrid says consanguinity and eventual DNA clashes.
Facts.
And we're moving on. It's now the top of the hour, 9 p.m. Wow. It's all about the Ifa Orisha Way of Life program here on the Shit 919 FM. We're streaming live on Facebook on the Shit 919 FM Facebook page. We're also streaming live on YouTube on Iwer TV. You can see what's happening here in the studio and what's going on. We're going to touch on extramarital affairs. Strong. Ifa condemns in strict terms the act of keeping mistresses outside marriage. Rather, one is encouraged to marry such women and bring them inside the house as against meeting them in secret. In a verse under Ika Obara, Onmilia warned all his akapo and devotees never to give any earnings of Ifa to any mistress. Just want to get it here. Sigiri that refuses to turn its neck. Cast divination from Magbiola, the child of Asei Rinle Pade Ilona. He was told to take care of the ground and offer sacrifice, such that he would not, true woman, meet his death. Magbiola heard about the sacrifice, yet he did not offer it. Magbiola, you are the one who did not do right. You are the one who misbehaved. Were you not asked to offer sacrifice such that you would not die through promiscuity? If it is you that had insisted in keeping mistresses against the warning of Ifa, I just want to take this call here.
Iba Pele staff, right? Love and blessing.
Yes, brother, I get mixed up with
love to Shaka. Shaka.
Brother.
Enough consciousness, man.
I hear.
And brethren, MC Duke in the show what? MC Duke always strong guy within him teaching,
Yes, I.
It's either you go to the past, you go take in the present, you step it on to the future.
Facts.
Love to man. No respect for the night, man. Listening in and conscious, loving it. Yeah, guy.
Shit.
Jen.
Shaka, I just want to, Ingrid is she's bringing this conversation real nice,
Please explain.
Please explain, bring her inside the house.
When Ifa says to bring the person inside the house,
stop hiding.
Don't go and meet mistresses and hiding.
Stop going double palm and all them kind of things.
Do not, as Ifa is saying, do not be disloyal to your spouse by breaking your oath of marriage to go outside there and engage in things with a mistress. And again, I like to always say, this is not just for everyone, but this is also for even myself in speaking. Because as a person who comes on a program, we learning every day and we are reinitiating ourselves into the doctrines of Ifa every time we come on this program, because it's meant talking, you know, and these are also emotional topics too for us too, because we have a charge to keep and we have, you know, to live that example as well, because Ifa tells us that when you speak the word of Ifa, you walk the road of Ifa.
Benny.
So this is what makes it, you know, an emotional one, because we are not saying that we are perfect, because there is a full world out there, a full physical world out there, you know. But as each day passes, we reinitiate ourselves into the words of Ifa, you know, and this sustains us. Ashe.
Ashe. You know, Mimi, this question here is a real powerful question, you know. Mimi says, what if the mistress went to the mat unknowing to the woman? Wife on the inside, then the wife or woman just there, but the real woman is out there.
Read over that question to me, I didn't quite.
What she's saying, what if the mistress went on the mat unknowing to the woman or the wife? You know, let me take this call here. Wow. Aboro yabo shishe.
Hello, Sheila. To explain that part about the man who shops forgot to take off the radio, sorry.
No problem, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, explain about the man bringing the mistress in the house, mean that he should marry her, because if you don't say that exactly, some people might misunderstand and think he should bring her in the house of the wife, at least. This is my interpretation. You all could correct me if anything.
Can you take that one? You go take it.
What do you mean?
I was saying, when they say the man could bring the mistress inside the house, it means he should marry her. But I don't think he all said that, so some people might misunderstand it and think he should bring the woman home.
No, we are not saying that. We are just
I know you're not saying that.
Oh.
But I say some people might interpret it to mean that.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, so to explain them clearly that it means that he should marry the mistress.
Yes, well, Ifa, as we had spoke about earlier, Ifa is against, you know, a man having a wife and having mistresses. Unless the man and the first wife decides upon, here what? Let's engage in polygamy, and they go and they consult Ifa to find out if it's well within their destiny, and if the person with whom, you know, they have their sights on to join that family is compatible and would bring blessings to that family, because it's about the fulfillment of one's destiny, and that is done through family. So sometimes, yes, a person would have a first wife, but maybe within their destiny, Ifa sees a plethora of Iwer coming through the introduction of a second wife into that family. So again, Ifa is so comprehensive. So sometimes we may not see it one time, but maybe right around the corner, is the blessings waiting
Yes.
to
Simple
fall
like
on us,
the
you know?
first wife can make a child.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
Simple.
I understand that, but say some people might feel you should bring the outside woman in the house to talk like a Trinidadian.
No, not like that at all.
He should marry her.
And that answers that question from Mimi also.
Yeah.
That answers that question. We must go on the mat and seek Ifa's counsel to find out what we are mixing ourselves in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that initial respect too within that husband and wife, that communication as well. You know, because most times once we betray our partner's trust, it opens up, the door for all sorts of a jogun to enter into our life and relationship. So that initial conversation must be taken,
Yes. Yeah, okay, I understand it, but I say some people might misunderstand it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, yeah.
Thank you very
much. There are some bold women these days,
Thank
you.
Although I am a woman, but that's reality.
Facts.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, thank you very much. And that was a good contribution in clearing it up for people, going a little deeper into the explanation. Ifasola says, what about the son who find he must inherit his father's wealth, including his father's wife? They brought curse unto themselves and the community. They went on to have children, and later these children die. Who jung, the house burned down, the son lost a lot. He regrets.
Well, again,
same thing you talk about just now.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I mean, Ifa is the past, the present, the future. So Ifa knows the dangers of all of these things. So if a person so chooses, to go against the word of Ifa by engaging in incest and all of these things, that would lead to their eventual demise. Ashe.
So Patricia says here, Patricia says, so it's okay for a second wife under Ifa, only if you go and sit on the mat and Ifa says yes.
Yeah.
And
again, you must be mentally matured, emotionally stable, and you must be spiritually grounded to engage in that type of relationship, because it's
as
my Iani first is who no. You have to be grounded. You must get the blessings of Ifa. You must get the blessings of the ancestors,
Ifa Sola says, I know for me, I made that call to my co-wives to ensure they are in agreement, because man could come and tell you anything. I felt it was my responsibility to know that I am welcome by the other wives.
Wonderful.
That's a level of
maturity.
Yeah. That not just coming like that. Ingrid says here, he's saying she's replying to his comments. Do you guys live in harmony? 3 or 4, 5, it depends on a man's udu. That's probably one of the first questions to ask.
Yes. Well said, Ianti.
So we're gonna go to my favorite part of the topic. Attributes of a good woman in Yoruba land. If Ifa condemns having mistresses, he also abhors married women having affairs with a man who is not her husband. In many instances across the entire Yoruba land, it has resulted in multiple deaths. Same thing we were saying. It says here, hearken to your husband. If a woman would be prosperous, she would first hearken to her husband. The one that would die wretch, however, would be insubordinate, cast divination for Unmilia. He was going to marry Erin Berry as wife. even when some are in haste and others are in a hurry, tread with cool-headed steps to reap the rewards of marriage. All women tread with caution to reap the rewards of marriage. You know, Shaka?
And as even we had said initially, one of the foundation of maintaining a good marriage is having that patience and that perseverance. Because just in Ogbe, you know, Orun Miller was patient and he was able, you know, to marry and have multiple blessings. So Ifa tells us, because sometimes a person may go to Ifa, you know, the man and his wife would go to Ifa, and Ifa would outline, you know, the entire plethora of blessings. Ifa would say, well, hear what? I see children, I see wealth, we see houses, we see all sorts of blessings. And these two people in the marriage would be going down the road. And they might find that the blessings that Ifa is speaking about, it's not coming. But according to Osher Meiji, Ifa tells us, ambitions and dreams without hard work results in nothingness.
Benny.
So Ifa is telling us that within a marriage, the husband and the wife need to work together.
Benny, facts.
Yes, we must be patient for certain things, but we must put in the work. Because sometimes you will do all the ebo up front. You will do the ebo, you will do certain things, you know, to clear your pathway. But what is it is the determining factor? It's your actions.
So true.
You can't expect to get wealth by waking up 9 o'clock in the morning to go to work. You have to get up and get. And the Orisha and the ancestors would clear the way. So Ifa is telling us in this Udu, tread with caution to reap the rewards. Be patient, be careful, and work hard. You know, don't seek to grasp at the rope of wealth without having that control, you know, because a lot of people nowadays are abandoning, you know, the institution of marriage because, you know, they might find that things not going too fast. But sometimes you may have to go and sit down and get the correct counseling, because counseling helps. Nothing is wrong with it, can help, because sometimes you may need an adept elder to set you straight. It does happen, even with men and women.
Shaka is not easy, no. How long you feel like married? Make a guess.
Well, I know how long you're married.
This year, the 27th is 17 years. It's not easy.
Real.
It tied tough times, it tied good times, tied bad times, and it are happy times.
Happy times.
You know, and you had to learn to balance it.
I
you know, and like I always say, the level I am at now, had I known that, I'd be in a much better position, but nothing happens before it's time, you know. Patience, you know, as we say here in, you see the Chantal? Yeah. Chantal and Ingrid on fire tonight, you know.
Plus are nice sisters.
You know, can a woman have more than one husband as well? Yes or no, and why? We're gonna go down. We're gonna go down.
Well, according
conversation.
According to Osher Meiji.
I'm gonna take this call.
Okay, no problem.
This
and
is
then we'll
some this is called some Yeye. Ifa Sola.
Okay. You lost it?
Yeah, I lost it. You know. You can call back Yeye Ifa Sola, you know. So we are while we await that call, Shaka, can a woman have more than one husband as well? Yes or no, and why?
Well, according to this particular Udu, that is Osher Meiji, this Udu tells us about the essence of a woman, that divine essence. And if a woman is to lay with more than one man at the same time, that would erase some of, in fact, would damage that essence within her. So that is why Ifa tells us in Osher Meiji that a woman. Okay.
Let me take a call. Good. She keep it keep bumping off. So I am going. It keeps dropping.
Yeah. So that's why Ifa tells us in Osher Meiji that a woman is not totally with more than one man at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because it damages her divine essence.
Right.
It damages her divine essence, you know. So, I mean, I don't know if there may be exceptions, but according to Osher Meiji, Ifa tells us that a woman laying with multiple men at the same time, that would be of her detriment.
About Shishe, the call is connecting. You know, I think he having a problem because my signal is up and strong. So we're gonna continue. Iwer, Irete. If the stomach is full of wine, alcohol would make one tipsy. Too much dependence on charms would make one excessively arrogant. If a woman becomes too wise under her matrimonial home, you know, if she comes too wise, one should not contract a disease out of sheer politeness. I'm going to take this call here, I believe. He is getting trouble. But she should call your live shit 919 FM.
Good evening, gentlemen. I wonder if I could respond to the question that the lady asked. Because I sit down here listening, and that one made me decide to call. I don't call this program, I only listen and gather as much as I can where my religion is concerned. Ma'am, according to what do you call the gentleman sit down next to you? He's the pastor, the reverend, you have a name you call it. Can't recall it now.
That's King Shaka.
King Shaka, good evening, sir. A lady loses her essence. A man sees a woman as a treasure, something of value. And if that is done to me while I'm with you, I lose my respect for you. I take back my value that I placed in you. Where a man is in control or supposed to be in control, and if the role is reversed, that means the woman is in control. That means that he is not carrying out the role that he's supposed to. That is why there is a difference. A man having two wives, someone said to me one time, a man could have sex Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's a nature of a man. A woman, sometimes once a month, when that time comes around, she feels for that a few days. And after that, if you ain't worry with she ain't worry with you. So we have to understand that as men. That is where the difference is, that a man is possible to have more than one wife. Because of the nature of a man. So that's why sometimes what we call it local balance, horning. Gentlemen, enjoy your night. And thanks again for this.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, dear Mr. Bartaria. I'm trying to get on to here.
Finally, Abuato, Ashori Ufun.
Asheo.
Alright, how are you guys? This topic real, man. Like this kind of topic. Falls right in my court. Yes. Congratulations. Welcome. Thanks, everyone. This topic interests me because, one, I'm wife in a polygamy relationship.
Okay.
And I would tell you that it is one of the best and most rewarding relationship I have been in.
Sure.
In spite of the ups, the downs, the differences in culture and so on. Ifa has been our guide in keeping it together. So many a times when I wanted to run off, and so on. Many a times when we had our falling out, many of times when, it reached far, like, I done gone long time, my switch done off. It is Ifa.
Sure.
And one thing I would say, we all have to understand self.
Facts.
Because when I got initiated, I was told that in heaven, that I walk naked in front of many men. So we have to think about ourselves. And every time I want to leave for stupid reasons, I would think about that woman. Because it is Ifa that will save me, right? So I have to pay attention to that. And not pay attention to one's probably he's snoring too much, probably eating too much, and so on. I had to pay attention to the deeper thing. On his side, people would, she's a stubborn woman, she's a miserable woman. But even Romola, when he went to this village and he spoke, when this wife, and the king wanted someone to marry his daughter desperately, because no one could have handled her. It's only Romola. And she did all sort of stuff. And Romola had patience.
Yeah.
And it's because of his patience that he was able to marry that woman. All things went well in that community. Right? So, coming to relationships, when a woman knows herself, when a woman is confident in herself, a relationship is not hard. Once you respect the relationship, because you cannot go into a relationship thinking, you have to remember that someone may come after, right? So my duty, my responsibility was to ensure that it is good by my co-wives. I made the call. They don't understand English, but all I could hear is, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Right? And that, we went on a mat, yes. And I still wanted to know and still wanted to be comfortable to know that I'm entering not in just a one-on-one relationship, but a relationship with a community.
Sure.
You understand? So, it's all love.
All love.
It's all love. And we do have our differences. We respect each other, but it's all love. But thanks for taking the call.
No problem. No problem, yeah. No problem at all. Thanks for that contribution.
Yeah, thank you so much, me Olodumare. The Orishan positive ancestors continue to strengthen you. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your contribution is well received. Ashe.
Thank you. And that is why we have to continue taking the words of Ifa, the wisdom of Olodumare that Romola holds is so important to our growth and development. We have to move away. When we talk about Ogun, when you want to talk about Ogun, it's not just about a man and two machete or two cutlass clearing the way.
True.
When you talk about Ogun, you talk about clearing the way within yourself. All the ego, the anger, the jealousy, the envy that is keeping you back from following your destiny and succeeding in your destiny. You understand? So you have to look within yourself and see what it is that is blocking your way from succeeding in following and fulfilling your destiny.
Ashe.
Ogbato. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
And Ifa tells us one good Ori positively affects 200.
Benny.
So we thank you, yeah.
As we continue, one should not contact a disease out of sheer politeness. On the other hand, one may contact a disease out of politeness. Once we contact it, one should not cure it out of politeness. Cast divination for the neat man who was befriending a sloppy woman. Her fingernails are grubby. Her private part is dirty. If one marries a dirty woman as wife, one should no longer eat locust bean again. Cast divination for Yeshuari, the one that would elope with a woman from the house of Agbenugun. Therefore, Idu do bathe regularly. Idu is having his bath. Shaka?
Ashe. Well, I mean, if I spoke comprehensively, and just as us men, we have to take care of ourselves,
Benny,
so that our partners would see us as presentable and desirable. It's just the same thing as a woman, because cleanliness is close to spirituality as well.
Sure.
We cannot afford, to have ourselves dirty and unkept, because everything has an effect. So Ifa tells us, both men and both women, we must take care of ourselves for our partners. We must consume, the right things too. Preserve our health. Keep ourselves clean. Keep our private parts clean, because we don't want to give our partners, diseases and certain things.
Ashe. Although the woman is the keeper of the house, the man also must not lack in his own part by also looking neat at all times. That's what Shaka said.
Facts.
In fact, the verse of Ifa under Osatua tells about the wives of Urunmilia who decided to divorce him because he was untidy and does not have his bath regularly.
Facts.
This is to remind all men that they should not be untidy or sloppy, and they should not go to sleep over their own neatness and that of the home in general.
Facts. Facts. Again, Ifa again reinforces that we need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. We take our regular baths. We have ourselves in order for our partners so that we would be desirable for them. Ashe.
Ashe, and we continue here. The husband,
I feel that one with a farm be controversial.
Hold on. I think I was getting a call here. I'm gonna call him.
Good evening.
About Shishe?
Yes, Ashe, Roger Bootman, always tuned in and listening to this program, and it's quite informative. I would just like to add that women whose body makeup through their menstrual cycle, it is also important for the man to know this, because his cycle is different, and knowing the emotional side of each other will go a long way in keeping that relationship. But however, it is unfortunate that some people may have misinterpret what let's say the Bible, for those in the Christian community, would take. Some people, not all, that usually they take for granted a woman, and there's a saying behind every successful man there, but it's really beside. That is often used. It is because if the man submits himself to God, the woman have to submit herself to a man, and that is understandable. But at the same time, today the role of a woman has changed so much that they are probably the breadwinners in most instances. And once their communication, because communication to God is prayers, and if we cannot communicate to God, we will have problems communicating with each other in life. And for unity to happen, there must be agape love. Without agape love, there will be no unity in whatever, in whatever it is. So, therefore, the unconditional love for which God has for us must be imparted, because if we are to bear his image and likeness, we have to take up the character of God. And that is where things have sort of altered because of at the beginning of, man existent. I'm going to say man and woman. So I just wanted to say that if once there's a understanding between a man and a woman, especially when the woman is seeing her periods or menopause, or there's something called the libido, when their sexual cycle is not as active as before due to lack of estrogen and the men to testosterone, there must be that common, that sex is not all in a relationship as well.
Yes.
So I just locked on, and I'm looking at it because even God in his scientific word and the Ori, that we have to sort of live up to the traditions of our ancestors, will go a long way in understanding self. And that is what the woman who spoke a while ago was speaking. Once we understand self, but we must have that love for one another, like how we love ourselves. So have a blessed night.
Thank you, Baba.
And
Appreciate
I'm
it.
learning so much from your program.
Thank you very much.
Ashe.
I just want to, Yeye Ifasola, I must thank you for coming here and contributing on this program. Very powerful. I just want to take this call. Yes, caller live shit 909 FM.
Yeah. Blessed love.
Blessed love, brother.
I want to send out love to the sister that bring love so real on the air. Have the eyes sparkling, It's not about sex. Is love, and love is sex. It's about reasoning, communication, understanding.
Benny.
Getting together, knowing self, helping, thinking just, love. Blessed love, Shaka. I love all the things.
Thanks, King. Appreciate it.
Put her under the umbrella of the Most High.
Ashe.
Yes, sir.
Strength and blessing for the community.
Real.
Yeah, guys, I want.
Yes.
Don't know.
Abo Shishe Kola.
All up there.
Now,
as well, I would like to add, because as the young man was just saying there, it is about love. Because men always want to think about the sexual part of having more than one wife. And polygamy, the true polygamy, has nothing to do with it, because it is about caring and family and love. Because it is said that your wife would be the one to tell you, listen, we need to take her in, we need another wife. You understand? Because if a woman loses her husband and she has children, or whatever the reason, just to make sure that woman is taken care of and she's with a family, that is part of the main important part of polygamy, to know that we are all caring for each other as a family.
It's community.
I just like,
It's community preservation and building.
That's right, and the building of the family, the building of the that is it. Because she would tell the husband, "Let's take her in." No woman is left there struggling out on her own to find her way. No, whenever there's a need, you come with a family, So these are the things. It's not about sex as people first would want to think, Anyways, I'm here learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, yeah. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I just want to touch on Yeye Fasola great contribution. No, it's not control. We use that word too loosely. That causes conflict. We are not equal. We have equal responsibility as a man and as a woman. While we are here on earth, our men must protect us. A woman's spirituality is what keeps it together.
Facts.
Why do you think a man is built the way he's built? Ingrid says there can be compatibility on the mat, but not in hygiene. Yeye Fasola says a man can ejaculate into 10 women at the same time and get all of them pregnant, but a woman cannot get pregnant for 10 men at the same time. Ifataishe Atinumu says people can be compatible, but the work still have to be done.
Ashe.
Yeye says, and if a man could understand a woman's ashe, the motherhood and ashe of a woman's life will be better. You know, Ingrid says hygiene should be of foundation. True. So I just want to continue here, you know. We have about 25 minutes to go. The woman must allow her husband's last say in family affairs. The man must be in charge. Even when the woman is more prosperous than the husband, she should remain submissive so that the love and not money rules the home. Rules in the home. Cleanliness and hairdo. After the marriage, a woman has to make sure that she is well kept at all times, ensuring neatness in the house. According to the verse of Ifa under Iwer, the head of the woman is what the man paid for with the bride price. This same head must be kept clean at all times. Ifa teaches under Osameji as follows. Shaka.
When Ifa says the head of the woman is the prize, it means too that we must protect the uri of our wives, the uri of our spouse. We must not allow them, you know, to feel as if, you know, they are being sidelined and victimized at no time. We must again take care of them. We must take our time, you know, to inspire them as well, because it's that essence of the woman that helps to build a home. A person could have a house, you know, but if the essence of that wife is not radiating throughout that house, it would never become a home.
Benny.
So Ifa tells us that as men, we have to help to ensure that our women are comfortable, you know, and Ifa had outlined ways in which we must do that. And it goes by first, you know, giving them that space and time to have good conversation. You know, you make sure, you know, that there's a space and a place where the woman could voice her concerns. It mustn't be one of where the man is talking down at the woman all the time. It mustn't be like that, because Ifa tells us that we must address our partners with love and respect, you know. And Ifa tells us too that we must take care of our woman's head, make sure that she is well attired and, you know.
Aborabo yaba shishe kola.
Yes, pretend. Tell me something. In a household, right? Isn't the man supposed to be the head, as I say? I was having a discussion with someone today, and we got into a little argument, and I was saying to her, even if your salary, as it may, is more than your husband, it does not mean that you could talk down to him or whatever, because at the end of the day, I think, as far as I know, the man is supposed to be head. Period. It didn't say, the man's supposed to be the head if he working for more money than him. It is no conditions. The male is supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to work hand in hand with him, side by side. But your position shouldn't be that because of your position you can talk down to him and things like that. Am I wrong about that?
Just that talking down to any one of our partners is not in the best interest of the tradition.
We are supposed to communicate.
Because Ifa says that it's a cooperation, it's a union. And when something is deemed a union, it means that it is working hand in hand, hand in glove.
It's communication.
So, communication. So even if a woman is making more than her husband, and the husband is not making as much as her, that respect must illuminate, because
yes, it does not mean that your salary is bigger, so you can talk to him anyhow. No, it does not change his position. To me, it does not change his position.
True.
He is still male. He is still the man.
Yeah.
So, she was trying to show me something different.
No, well, Ifa abhors partners down talking at each other, because a relationship solely must not be built on money. And as it is, it states that a relationship is built on mutual love, respect, care, understanding. So if it's only based on money...
She couldn't see that this morning. She couldn't see that when I was telling her that. And she started to call me some names. And I started to say, okay, same to you. Everything she said, I said, many happy returns. And she got upset about that, you know? Because in her book, I am wrong. Her salary is bigger, so that gives her the right to talk down and say whatever. And it should not be, you know? So I was just checking to see if I am correct. Duke, have a good evening, eh?
Yes, Miss Angie St. Paul, you know.
Yeah, this talking down at each other's partners
it's not nice.
It's not
it's
correct.
Not nice.
It's not correct.
No, it's not nice.
It's not
okay,
correct.
have a good evening.
Thank you.
I want to call back Yay Fasola. You know, I mean, it's a broad, very broad topic, Shaka. You know, it's a very broad topic. You know, Aborabo ya Boshishe ya.
Yes, again. Yes, it is a broad topic. Broad topic. Hello?
Yeah, we are hearing you. I know you said you want to call back in again.
Yes, no, but it's a broad topic, and I realize this is something that you may need to break down in parts, you know, to make it a little more clearer to the audience and so on. One thing I want to say, when we keep talking about, oh, man's supposed to be head of the home and all these things. Now, if you take that as a figure of speech, because man was supposed to really bring the teachings of Ifa, or bring the teachings of the universe, bring the teachings of God Olodumare to the home, and lead the home using the teachings, right? So it is more like, okay, not man is boss. No, don't look at it in that way. Look at what the man was supposed to teach his family, right? And the woman also have the responsibility of taking that teaching and keeping the family together, because it's the woman, is the nurturer. The woman, a man cannot breastfeed. So the physical act of a breastfeeding a child, that is nurturing. In the same way, in the metaphysical sense of the family, the woman nurturing the family, right? That is strength. That is power.
Facts.
That is strength and power.
Facts.
And we don't know that. We don't know that. Forget about all this head of the man thing and thing. We women are the strength and the power of the home. Right? The man, whether he bringing in the money, the food he's seen about physically, financially, whatever, we have the spiritual strength.
Yes.
Of home within the family. Right? And we have to look at that. Look at that. Many a times your husband will make decisions, right? And as a woman that would talk, the woman that will say, husband, I don't think what that decision you're making is the right decision.
Before
and the man, you know, no man have ego. So you have to know how to come to him in a particular way for him to really take it in. But if you come to him in you can't do it like that, brother, he ain't gonna take you on. You understand? So I have learned to know how to seduce my words to get my way, to be able for him to say, I understand what you are saying. It is true. Yes, let us do it that way. You understand? So,
yeah.
And yeah. Right. So, there's a lot to say, but I'll type. I'll go ahead and type.
Thanks.
Yeah, we thank you for your contribution, and we are looking forward to hearing you a little more often, you know, on the Farisha program.
Yeah.
Your contribution was Thank you.
You're most welcome. Okay.
And you know, Alatumishi, just to add to what Iya had just said as well, even in my own experience growing up in a large family, And seeing how my mother managed things when my father was not around. Well, you know, when it is he went her work, you know, and we were at home with her. The way how she managed things, managing a lot of children, it was quite remarkable looking back in retrospect. And that again shows the power and the strength of women.
I just want to run through some of the comments here. From Aina says, Aina says, words can be easily misinterpreted. A woman will allow a worthy man to guide her. The strongest woman will then be compatible with a strong, caring man. Submissive should not be misinterpreted. When head was coming to earth, it did able for the other parts to support him. A head without heart pumping blood will not last long. A head without a neck to turn it and hold it up will not go far.
Facts.
She says here again, yes, jealousy could get involved as well. At the beginning, it was stated that a man should provide and lead as a head leads the body. Example at birth. When the man does not perform his role, the imbalance shows things out of balance. That's so true. Patricia says, but if the man does not have leadership skills, what is a woman to do? Sit back also? No. I mean, the ladies come fire, the ears and them come fire in tonight, you know. Shaka. So, I mean, the topic was very exciting. It was broad.
We're not finished yet.
You know, next week, you know, we'll finish it. Next week, we'll have some gift cards. We'll have some giveaways. Stay tuned from our sponsors. You know, if Ataisha says balance, balance, balance.
Facts.
That's what we need. And we ask members of the community, you know, members tuning in to help sponsor and support this program. This program has been going on. We are blessed to be on the Street 919 FM. We'll take this call. Yes, caller, you're live. I missed that one, you know. And it's a privilege. So, Shaka, you call him back. Pleasant good night, caller, you're live.
Yeah, good night to my brother. Very, very, very good program. I love it. You see what? I will tell you something. People that say communication, attention, and all these things, that have a relationship. But you have to look behind that. You understand? Things really happen in the unseen now. Because you could see a man doing this and a woman doing that. But that is faith. That is what they see and that is what you must be. But the unseen is the idea behind it. You see, we have to get in a sense that God said the woman is the garden. Man supposed to fertilize it. You have to till the soil. If you can jump in a relationship just so, you're not tilling the soil, you're not putting on the manure, you're not doing this in order to plant the seed. Because woman womb is the door for the message from God. Now, a good relationship starts from the first institute. That is home. When you're small growing up and you're obedient to your parents and your parents train you the right way, that is where a good relationship starts. You understand? If you're not obedient to your parents, you can never be a good husband or a good wife. It starts from the first institute. Because they also show you, if you spend a whole day with them showing them goodness and things, it's better. That is far more better than prayers and all these things. You know. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So in other words, what I was trying to say, you see, when God created man and woman, male and female principle, we are all equal. You have to understand that. Everything is created as good and bad, negative and positive. Nothing is created. Man is created by the self. Male and female principle. Man and woman is
We have
equal.
1 more minute, caller. We have 1 more minute.
All right, my friend. Until next week, we will finish it up next week. I'm sorry for coming in late.
Thank you,
All
dear.
right.
No problem. No
My
problem.
friend, Lola, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem, caller, you know. So, Shaka, anything in closing? You have approximately 4 minutes to go.
You know, for Oludumare for giving us the space and this place to have healthy, uplifting conversation You know, and as we close, I wouldn't say close, we ascend to another year, may our listenership be blessed.
Benny.
May everyone have a testimony of the goodness of Olodumare the next time when we meet. May all of us have comfort. May all of us have joy. May all of us have wealth. May all of us have wisdom. May all of us have long life.
Ashe.
Because it's the words and the wisdom of Olodumare that grants us long life.
Benny.
So despite whatever challenges that we may face as a individual or as a collective or a community, hold on to the words of Ifa Orisha. It is there for our guidance, it is there for our protection, it's there for our inspiration. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe wa.
So folks, we'll get you guys next week, Monday, you know. Final episode to close off the year.
Fiery.
So let's come on. I will get on to the Iya who spoke tonight, and we'll continue this topic. I'll get on to Yeye and see if she can come through on the program next week, where we'll finish this off in style and fashion. Remember, it's all about the Ifa Orisha Way of Life program on the Street 919 FM. See you guys next week, Monday.